Hey everybody, Ed here with the Digital Digest, and today I wanted to share yet another update on my experience with the Lenovo Yoga 8 tablet. So this is an 8-inch Android tablet with a quad-core processor from a manufacturer that you probably aren't familiar with. And it doesn't have top-tier specifications. You're looking at a 720p display, 1280 by 800, so you're not going to get that high pixel density count. It is still an IPS display, though. It does have incredible design, in my opinion. Some great front-firing speakers that deliver best-in-class audio performance for a sub-10-inch device. The NVIDIA Tegra Note 7 is another one that I would say delivers really, or maybe the only other tablet that delivers comparable audio quality in this class, maybe even a little bit louder than the Lenovo. And then, in addition to that, you're also getting, as I mentioned, with that design, the ability to use this in several different modes without having to pick up an accessory, which would often be necessary in order to use the tablet the way I am even right now. So we've got a productivity mode right now where it's just resting on the magazine cover, folded over style spine or book cover spine that we've got here at the top of the tablet, which is really the bottom based on where the Lenovo branding is. And also they expect you, when using it, to hold it in your hand like this so it's weighted in your palms. This is all about ergonomics and really studying what I think tablet manufacturers have been doing wrong when it comes to allowing us to comfortably use anything that's in the 10-inch class or even the sub 10-inch like this. The other mode is just by using this stand, which is actually metallic. This is not plastic, despite much of the body being plastic, and that'll just let you go ahead and leave it upright and consume media to your heart's content. And with those front-facing speakers, you really are getting, again, a very rich multimedia content, despite the fact that you don't have the highest res display on the market. So Lenovo doing a good job here, and I say that because remember, the price on this tablet is $250, and while you may be comparing this to something like the Nexus or the Tegra Note 7, I would say you really shouldn't be, because this is an entirely different concept. Lenovo isn't trying to give you the best hardware for your money, but they are trying to give you one of the best actual experiences. Now, the experience in Android, or I should say any device, really is based around the software, right? I mean, you have to have that good hardware to begin with, otherwise any software isn't going to perform well. But what I can tell you about here is that this is one of my least favorite overlays. I'd love to tell you great things about it, but it just, unfortunately, in a lot of ways, when I look at it, just looks unfinished. Yeah, it does resemble stock a little bit, and Nova Launcher, which also resembles a Nexus environment. But the widgets and everything Lenovo has done there just doesn't impress me. And the fact that you've got that coupled with, again, a screen that isn't going to make anybody say wow about this tablet, it's tough, because tablets like the Nexus 7 2013 do have that wow factor with the 1080p, or excuse me, 1200p display that it has. And even the Tegra Note 7's display is, in my opinion, superior to this without a question. But the battery life on this tablet is insane. So with all the negative stuff I just unloaded about the software and screen, and the screen isn't that bad, by the way. See it in person. It's really a matter of personal preference. I think a lot of people will look at this and say it's perfectly fine. But if you have been using something like a Nexus 7 2013, I wouldn't suggest going to this from that unless you're really unsatisfied with the fact that it doesn't have expandable storage and some of the flexibility that Lenovo brings. But the battery life here is just crazy. No other tablet on the market, at least that I've tested, approaches what Lenovo has put together here. I'm sure the same applies to the 10-incher because it just has a larger battery. And I don't know what they've done here. I don't know if it has to do with this quad-core processor just being a very low-powered chip when compared to competing products. I don't think it is. It's based around similar architecture, so I'm not sure what they've done. But wow, the battery life, if there's one reason to buy this tablet, it's the speakers, design, and battery life. And even though that's three, it's really one, because in this world, this glutton of tablets, this flood, we're inundated with different devices that may or may not fit our needs, and that's the real fragmentation in the marketplace, not really operating systems, even though technically they do create fragmentation. And when I look at a device like this, the software just is blah. And that's one thing where I understand going with the lower res screen. It's a budget tablet, and the build being predominantly plastic, again, a budget tablet, that's all offset by the design, which is gorgeous. I mean, I love it. It's reminiscent to my old iRiver Spin, among many other products that tried to incorporate this and just failed. And it just looks great. It's unique. There's nothing else like it. Not that that gives it merit in its own or on its own, but it's actually functional in its form, which sometimes isn't the case. You know, you get a beautiful looking device and, well, quite frankly, it's a pain to use. Micro SD card slot is tucked under here the same way that Microsoft does with their Surface 2, which is a good thing. It's protected, it's concealed. You don't have to worry about it popping out. A lot of tablets, in fact, most have, non-covered, open form slots on the side of the device, which makes some people nervous. I mean, I've never had one eject, although some tablets in the past have been notorious for just not giving enough actual clearance for the card to really stay in there without something popping it out. But everything here is good. It's just, as I said, the software and screen are the only things that are going to make you feel like they could have done more, because between all the different usable positions and just the overall functionality you get, it's a really impressive piece of hardware. And since most tablets these days do look the same and play the same part, it's nice to see Lenovo, a company that is starting to become known for changing things up. I mean, the Yoga 2 Pro, really an innovative machine, even though many would argue it isn't that innovative. It just allows the screen to flip all the way around. But considering no one else is doing it and there is a market for it, it's innovation, folks. The back camera, I think it would have been cool if this actually could have swiveled. I'm not here to make any sort of design recommendations, but that would have been a cool feature that I think could have been incorporated considering the placement. Your headphone jack, volume rocker, microphone, nothing on the bottom of this. Micro USB port for charging and file transfer. Love the power button. That's another thing I'm going to give a lot of credit to. And as an e-reader, lefty or righty, really easy to palm because you've got the weight right in the palm of your hand. Just as Lenovo advertises it, that's what you get. So there's a lot to like here. The cameras, yeah, I really just made a noise like that. They're not good. I wish I could say better things about them, but I can't. Hopefully, that's something for the next generation. And I'm hoping that Lenovo sticks it out here. I'm not sure how well this or the 10-inch model is actually doing right now, but this is a really good start. And I think that if they can carry through on this design, give us a higher resolution screen, better cameras, and develop their software side of things, the battery life alone and form factor already give it merit that no other tablet right now on the market has, especially in the sub 10-inch category. So I like this tablet a lot. I think $250 is a little bit pricey, but that price is going to go down, folks, because it hasn't been on the market that long, so keep that in mind. And even though it doesn't have crazy specifications, they're actually relatively meager, and you can go ahead and go through all of that in my previous coverage if you really want to know the RAM and internal storage space after the OS is on there. It's all there. It's not great stuff, but for the price point, when it gets down to $200, it's going to be compelling. Still be tough, though, to really be drawn to it over, like I said, something like the Nexus 7 or Tegra Note 7, unless you're just absolutely in love with the Yoga capabilities. Any questions or comments, please feel free to post them. And of course, as usual, please feel free to subscribe. Later.